Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly dividend portfolio update. This will be episode 12 in the series. We're going to start things off by looking at my overall portfolios and then getting into the individual holdings. We'll first take a look at my Wealthsimple trade portfolio, where I was down roughly 1%, or about $111 on the week. Now I did add $130 to this portfolio this week, and you'll see the cash balance around $300. However, I still haven't made any new purchases yet, as I'm looking for some better buying opportunities. Taking a look at my Qtrade portfolio, it was pretty similar to my Wealthsimple trade portfolio, as I was down about $111 or 0.85% this week, giving me a portfolio value of $13,056.53. When we combine both portfolios together, that gives me a total portfolio value of $28,006.44. And looking at it week over week, I was down $213.97, or about 0.75%. So not a great week, but when we look at some of my individual holdings, we'll see that my bigger positions didn't have a great week either. If we take a look at the S&P 500 performance this week, we can see that it was pretty flat, as it finished the week up 0.18%. But that's better than my portfolio. And if we take a look at the S&P TSX performance this week, we can see that it was down almost 1%. So pretty big difference between that and the S&P 500, and this index was down more than my actual portfolio. Now let's take a look at my individual holdings and how they performed this week. Now rather than going through each individual holding, I'm just going to go through some of the holdings that had bigger than normal swings. Starting off with Canadian Tire, ticker CTC.A, who was down 4% on the week. We then had CIBC, ticker CM, who was down almost 2%. Then Canadian Natural Resources, ticker CNQ, who was also down almost 2%. We then had Canadian Utilities, ticker CU, who was up almost 2%. Then we have Keyera Corp, ticker KEY, who was down almost 4%. We had Manulife, ticker MFC, who was down 2.2%. We then had the Northwest Company, ticker NWC, who was down almost 1.8%. Then we have Suncor, another oil company, ticker SU, who was down over 2% this week. We had TD. We had TD Bank, ticker TD, who was down almost 1.7%. And because they're a big holding, I was down over $71 in that position alone this week. We had Transcontinental, ticker TCL.A, who was down over 7.5% this week. So definitely not a great week for them. And we then had my one non-dividend stock, Converge Technology Solutions, ticker CTS, who is actually up over 10% this week. So good to see a stock that was actually up quite a bit. And if you were to take a look at all of the holdings, out of the 35 holdings I have, 20 were red this week, with the other 15 being in the green. And unfortunately, the stocks that were down this week were down quite a bit more than the stocks that were up this week. We will now take a look at some of the dividends that I received this week. Starting off with First Capital REIT, ticker FCR.UN, who paid me 40 cents. We then had the Smart Center REIT, ticker SRU.UN, who paid me $3.85. We then had Pembina Pipeline, ticker PPL, who paid me $1.26. Then had Keyera Corp, ticker KEY, who paid me $2.40. Up next was True North Commercial REIT, ticker TNT.UN, who paid me $1.34. We then had Sienna Senior Living, ticker SIA, who paid me $3.20. And my last dividend of the week was Choice Properties, ticker CHP.UN, who paid me 49 cents. That brings my dividends to the month of November to $62.36. Some news of the week that I wanted to mention was that one of my holdings, Restaurant Brands, ticker QSR, they were in the news this week as they reached an agreement to acquire the sub sandwich chain, Firehouse Subs, in a deal valued at $1 billion US. And we can see that the markets did view this as a positive transaction, as the stock was up about 2% on the 15th. However, it's important to note that Restaurant Brands as a total stock has been down almost 13% in the last 6 months. And for those who don't know, this stock is the company who owns Tim Hortons, Popeyes, and Burger King. So now that they're adding a sandwich chain to their restaurant portfolio, it'll be very interesting to see how this stock does over the next couple of years, as this new deal only increases their market share in the overall fast food business. And that is my portfolio update for the week. I know it's a rather short one, but I didn't have too much to go over in this video, and I didn't want to put too much filler in the video just for the sake of making it longer. Let me know in the comments below what dividend stocks you are buying or keeping an eye out on. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have $300 in cash and will be looking to add to my current positions or create new ones, depending on the buying opportunity.